So we are now here with Lisa Langlois. Lisa, thank you so much for being here with me today.
I'm so happy to be here. I can't tell you. My mother had a stroke, so I flew down, and this Robert Amico, this actor, said, "You know, Lisa, we're at this meeting." He said, I wanted to invite an actor, but they always want so much from you. He said, and then you walked in, and that's why I'm here. I didn't come down for this event.
I'm sorry about that. I hope your mother is doing okay, but we're very glad to have you here today with us.
She's fine. In our family, we have this saying that unless it's cancer, it takes a sledgehammer to put you down.
So can you tell me a little bit about how you got interested in the world of Hollywood?
I actually wanted to be a journalist or an attorney, and I needed a way to pay my way through university. So a dance teacher said, "Why don't you do commercials?" So I started doing commercials. It's a long story, but then I got discovered by Claude Chabrol, who's a French New Wave director. And I got the role because Jodie Foster was too busy when he offered her the role. And then he asked me to do a second film in French, and I started up as Isabelle Huppert. And then I went on to work with Hal Ashby and John Huston and J. Lee Thompson. I've had a very auspicious career. I've been very spoiled.
And what has been the most important thing you have learned working in this field?
You know, I've learned things as time has gone on. I've learned things that, you just got to stay yourself. It's the only thing you have control of. You have no control over how your photograph turns out or how your picture shows up. But if you stay with your true north compass, you can like yourself in the morning. You can all. That's the only thing you have control of in your life is your integrity, and that's what was, with my brothers and my mom and my friends. That's what they drilled into me.
That is so important to hear.
You're never sorry. You're never looking over your shoulder in your life.
And you also mentioned that you're a writer in addition to acting. Can you tell me about what got you into being on the opposite side of the camera?
What got me into it is ever since I was a child, I loved writing, and I used to spend my free time writing compositions in school. And I came across by chance this novel in Canada. It's a true story about Sylvia Fraser, who's a very famous novelist, and it's about a little 7-year-old girl during World War II. It's a cross between The 400 Blows and A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And now with the Me Too movement, and we want stories with women's voices, it's the time to do it. On a more commercial level, I'm producing a series. I've written a treatment with Billy Reback, who wrote, produced Home Improvement and Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Oh, awesome.
Because he's funny, and I like being funny too. People don't know I'm funny. I don't get cast as funny.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great time tonight.
And the other thing I wanted to say is, fashion is the biggest polluter in the world, so we need to stop buying clothes. Everything that I'm wearing tonight is Salvation Army, Goodwill, Discovery Cancer Shop. We need to do it. Biggest polluter in the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hello, we are here with Paulette. Paulette is the designer of Polygen bags and one of the sponsors of tonight's event. Paulette, can you tell me a little bit about your bags?
Yes, Polygen is the next evolution of wearable clutches. It's belt bags with options. So it's cooler than a fanny pack, and it's better than a clutch. So all of these bags snap off on the back, so you can wear it with your own belt, or you can use it as a clutch. And there's 4 different ways that you can wear it, but it's the next evolution of the belt bag. And I call it the reimagined belt bag, or the reimagined clutch. And everything is also California dreamed and stitched. Everything is made in Los Angeles and in San Diego. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. We're so excited to see these move on to great things.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Hello, and we are here with Sage Walker and the team of a new web series. Can you guys tell me a little bit about what we can expect from it?
Well, not to correct you, it's not a web series, it's a television series. And we got Andy Milonakis in the pilot, and Lou Ferrigno's in the second episode, and David DeLuise, and a lot of amazing actors coming in and playing. And yeah, it's a cross between Napoleon Dynamite meets Entourage, and it's a little dirty like Shameless.
And what went into creating this? Whose idea was this? How did this really get started?
I mean, it's a Hollywood story, but it's everything that can go wrong goes wrong. kind of like today, right? Just kidding. But so there's a fantasy character that happens in the head of the main character, Bartholomew Fogelhorn, that I play, and I created it, and I'm producing, and he's got Coke bottle glasses and hair out to here. He's funny, but there's a fantasy side to it. So we get the glitz and glamour, but actually we get the reality as well. And nothing ever works out for Bartholomew, unfortunately, just like Jerry Seinfeld.
And when is this coming out, and how can we watch it?
You can watch it right now. We actually dropped the pilot about 24 hours ago, and we got 100,000 views right now. And yeah, it's Velvet Prozac, PROZAK.com. And you can check the pilot out there with Andy Milonakis. And I can't talk about distribution at this point. It's confidential, but it's going to be amazing in 2020.
Thank you. We're so excited to see your work.
Thank you very much.
So we are now here with Robert. Robert, thank you so much.
Robert Amico, how are you?
Thank you for joining me.
All right, 50 years in the business this year, 5-0. Do you believe it?
So how has awards season been for you this year?
Well, I like seeing my friends be nominated. I love that. Diane Warren, this is your year, the 11th year. I love the greatest prolific songwriter around. Catherine Narducci, all the guys at The Irishman, us Brooklyn Sicilians, we got to stick together. My favorite film of the year, Jojo Rabbit. Wasn't that kid amazing? What beautiful writing. It inspires me. Just when I was thinking the writing was getting really bland with all these franchises, along comes this unique, beautiful script. And this little boy with the soul of a 50-year-old comes and blows the screen away. So that's my favorite.
And you said you've been part of this industry for 50 years.
5-0.
How has it changed over the years?
Oh my God, how is it not? We used to shoot on film with no video playback. Very courageous. I feel in general actors were more trained like myself. I'm very theatrically trained. I studied with Lee Strasberg and Stella Adler and did a lot of stage in New York. I think it's been spread out to sports stars and movie stars. And some of them may have it naturally, but you know, you really have to have training to be the Meryl Streep or to be, you know, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro. Let's face it, come on, guys. So.
And to any aspiring actors, what advice can you give them?
Well, first I'm going to tell you Betty Davis's advice, because Johnny Carson asked her years ago and had the great Betty Davis on and said, what is the best advice you can give a young actor? And she said, take Fountain, because Fountain's the only way to get across town. My advice is stick with it, be true to your heart, work on your craft, and it'll come. Don't be jealous. Some people get picked without talent. Get over that, stay in the negative, cut out all the negative people in your life, and if you endure, you'll have a career like me.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hello, and we are now here with Tom Michael Mulligan. He co-founded the New Hope Film Festival. Tom, can you tell me a little bit about what went into founding a film festival?
Well, it started over a breakfast conversation 12 years ago in New Hope, Pennsylvania. I still lived there before I moved to California with a friend of mine, and we started talking about things and about how hard the business is to break in and get discovered. And I said, I always thought, New Hope would be a great place to have a film festival. And lo and behold, I came back to California a week later. Doug called me and said, he went to an attorney and he set it up for the festival. He's like, we're going to do it. Let's do it. So his background was Wall Street 12 years, Wharton School of Business MBA, brilliant guy. My background is 40 years in this industry. And so I knew this part, and that's how we set it up over the next year, over the phone.
And what kind of films are presented at this festival?
Well, it's everything. We have art house features, we have documentaries, short documentaries, student films, animated films, music videos, webisodes, TV pilots, a little bit of everything.
And what kind of films are coming up in your personal career?
Well, I just finished one called Angel Mountain in San Diego in November. It's going to be on Netflix sometime, probably later this year. That one. The one I have coming up in August in Detroit is going to be my first lead above-the-line starring role in a feature film. I can't say the name of it or what it's about, other than it's a suspense dramedy, and it's going to shoot in Detroit in August.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
So now I am now here with Rochelle Royale. Rochelle is a beautiful singer. Can you tell me a little bit about what got you into the industry?
I'm a singer-songwriter, brand new EP, Book of Royale. Go listen to it on every streaming platform. I would like to bring up Cynthia Erivo. She's not only a Broadway star and a musician, but she's nominated for Best Actress tonight. So I'm really excited to see music and acting come together. It's going to be an amazing show.
And what are you most excited about this awards season?
Like I said, Billie Eilish is performing tonight. Cynthia is known for her Broadway talent, so it's beautiful to see music as the universal language, and actors are telling us the stories that we need to see to heal, and it's just beautiful to see it all come together.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, and we are here with Gloria Garayua. Gloria is from How to Get Away with Murder and Grey's Anatomy, and she has some upcoming projects. So can you tell me a little bit about working with the ABC network?
You're right. It's all been ABC. That's interesting. I hadn't even thought of it that way. So I was on Grey's for 3 seasons, and that was an amazing experience, just working with all those stars in that network. And then I moved on to How to Get Away with Murder, and I played a detective, and I loved that role. I actually never thought I'd play a detective. But then funnily enough, I booked another series regular on another show called Reckoning, which hopefully will be out this year. It's Sony Studios produced, and I play a detective on that too.
And working on How to Get Away with Murder, it is such a powerful show and so empowering for all involved. You empower women, you empower powerful women. Can you tell me what effects you have seen from the show?
It's amazing. First of all, Viola Davis is a powerhouse of talent, and then you have a woman of color who's the leading role, and female, right? And that's so empowering, as you said. So being on that show, it was inspiring, and I felt like I needed to contribute what I know that I have as power of my own to that project and this world. And I just decided to shine my light.
And what do you look for when you're working on new projects? You said you have a new show coming out called Reckoning. How did you land that role?
Well, that was easy. I was invited to audition. But in addition to that, I look for something that I've never done before, if possible, something that perhaps will elevate my career and get me some more exposure. I feel like this is always a work in progress. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Hello, and we are here with Patty Negri. Patty Negri is a psychic medium. Can you tell me how you learned that you had such a talent?
I thought everybody had it. I was 3 or 4 years old running around and talking to the dead people under the bed or in the closet. I thought it was normal. I think kids really can. It just gets taught out of most people in our non-magical, mystical Western society. But ghosts here are very happy, I must say. They're celebrating Oscars just like we are.
That is great to hear.
I know, we're at a happy place. Usually on the show, like a Ghost Adventures, I'm like at the serial killer ghost's house, or the people who have been decapitated. Here I'm with people just celebrating art and life and beauty.
And how did you transfer your talents there to your talents in this industry?
I think it just happened. I mean, I'm a local girl actually growing up here. I was a performer. And I actually run another production company, but somebody knew of my gift and wanted me to do something on TV, and I tried to keep it secret. I was very closeted, but then once reality hit, there's nothing in the closet anymore. And it's my passion, though, because I'm really not about just talking to dead people, but I'm about empowering people. I have a new book out called Old World Magic for the Modern World, and it's about people taking their power back. We give it away to fear and belief systems and other people, and it's pretty great.
So thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
We are now here with Donna Lee Heising. Donna, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Well, thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of your work as an actress?
Yes, I'd love to. There are 2 projects I'm really proud of that will be released to theaters this year. The first one is called Bad President, and it stars the great Eddie Griffin. It's directed by Perham Gill, and Eddie Griffin plays Lucifer, and I play one of his minions named Misery. And that Eddie Griffin is such a talent. I'm really excited about that film. The second film I'd like to talk about is a film called Finding Purpose, The Road to Redemption. And that's a big budget film that was filmed in Pennsylvania by Polestar Productions. And John Rain is a mentor of mine. I'm so grateful to be working with him. The film is going to be in limited film festivals. It's already won Best Feature Film at the Hollywood Silver Screen Film Festival. But I think the next one It'll be released. It'll be put into major film festivals this year. 2 specifically, one really big one in New York. And the film is about a war veteran with PTSD, and John stars in it, and the great Akiela Young plays my father in it.
Awesome. We are so excited to see all of these new films.
Thank you.
We are now here with the iconic Terry Moore. Terry, thank you so much for joining me here.
Well, thank you. It's a very exciting evening for me.
Very exciting. So we know that you were once on a Skippy Lowe show.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about your favorite memories with the iconic Skippy Lowe?
I didn't realize it started there. With Skippy? Oh, I loved Skippy. He was an icon in himself. Yes. Yes. Wow.
What are some of your favorite memories you've had with him?
That he always called me himself, that he always put you above himself or anybody else. And he was a very kind, caring person.
That is so important.
Yes.
So you are also receiving a recognition award tonight. Can you tell me how it feels to be recognized?
Well, I love it. I must admit I love it.
Can you tell me about how award season feels for you? How every year going to these glamorous events really embodies the industry of Hollywood?
Yes, it does. And I love seeing all my friends. It's just fantastic. And it's fantastic to see my friends who are rising, their careers are rising, they're getting better every year, they're growing up.
And for my last question, what is the one thing you have learned from being part of Hollywood for so long?
Just stick to it because you can always win. There's room for everyone.
Everybody has their own little niche.
Yes, and don't give up. Do not give up.
Thank you. Hello, and we are back with Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains and Happy New Year, Charlie Brown, both iconic pieces of Hollywood culture. So Jeremy, thank you so much for being with me here today. Can you tell me how it felt to be a part of such a popular sitcom?
Being a part of a sitcom like Growing Pains was first of all, it was an honor. But it was crazy being that young and having that popularity because you didn't really notice it. I mean, it didn't seem real almost when you're that young. The first time somebody comes up and wants your autograph, you're very confused, it doesn't make any sense. And then later on, it becomes more normal and it becomes your life and you don't really look at it as awkward or different. It just kind of is. I always tried to be as friendly and as personable as I could with the fans and the people who wanted to come up. That was always the most awkward part to get used to for me at first, was because I understand why anybody cared. I'm just me.
And when you were a very young child, were you always interested in theater and interested in acting and playing different characters?
I kind of always, I didn't do theater really until I started learning acting and doing acting classes, but I always walked around the house reciting lines from my favorite shows, for singing from Broadway shows that I loved, that I listened to with my mom, Brady Bunch, Dukes of Hazzard, all of those shows that I watched as a kid, I could recite full scenes from, and I'd walk around the house acting them out. So that was what kind of gave my mom a clue that maybe I might have an interest in performance.
And Happy New Year, Charlie Brown. You were a voice actor in that.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the difference is between being an on-screen actor versus using your voice to express your full emotion?
Really using your voice to express it and having to be articulate is more important than actually conveying the emotion. Making sure each word is enunciated perfectly so that it can be shown with the lips moving and the animation is something you learn. There really isn't much difference besides that. I got to do one of the musical Charlie Browns, and that was really challenging because you had to try and act through your singing. I was not a classically trained Broadway actor. I mean, I was a 9-year-old kid. So that was really quite challenging, trying to learn to convey your emotion and your acting ability through a vocal, through a singing.
So thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
I am now here with Alexis Kiley. Alexis, thank you so much for being here with me today.
It's a pleasure.
Can you tell me a little bit about your acting career and how you got started?
Well, I basically attended the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in Los Angeles, and what that is a foundation of method acting, and it's more about utilizing your past history. It has to go back 5 years prior, and you utilize that for sense memory. And those, usually people that have always used method acting are always nominated. Case in point, a friend of mine, Sally Kirkland. I mean, she's a method actress. Robert De Niro. I mean, everybody that you could ever. Marilyn Monroe attended the Actors Studio, which is the same as Lee Strasberg. It just has a different name. And the Strasberg Institute in London. So it's a fine foundation. Also, Stella Adler uses methods. So Stanislavski method. Sorry. So yeah. Thank you. My dress. Sorry. Yeah.
And as a method actor, do you feel that watching TV and movies really gives you a whole new perspective?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've seen shows where I'm actually shocked that an actor is holding a hot cup of coffee walking into an office like this and not utilizing the sense memory, which is it's hot. So you're going to be holding it like this, and it's hot, even though they're not using hot water within the cup itself. So it's things like that that bring reality, realness to a performance. And also, I can spot fake tears as opposed to real tears of what an actor gives. So it's usually an Oscar-winning performance when they're method acting. So like I mentioned, it's real. So
that's great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Shalom, everyone.
I am now here with Serena Laurel. Serena, thank you for joining me.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. I love being at the Hollywood Museum and celebrating the Oscars every year.
So you are a singer and songwriter. Can you tell me a little bit about how you get inspired to write a song?
Well, I'm in a very happy relationship right now, and often you think that you have to have a breakup to write a song about something. So I always kind of grab from the people around me, sometimes my friends, my family, whatever they're going through, or just writing about picking an emotion and trying to write about that and whatever comes to mind. I also feel like music really inspires me a lot, so whether the chord progression or the rhythm, that really inspires whatever the song turns out to be about. But music is really therapy for me, so whatever does happen, it's happening for a reason. Whatever I'm writing about kind of tells me something about myself that I didn't know before.
And can you tell me a little bit about some of your songs and where we can hear them?
Yeah, so exactly a year ago, I released my first public single called Gold, which is fitting for the Oscars, so go check that out. And then on February 19th, which is in about a week, you can download my song called Car Talks. And I think my sound's really just like a chill drive down the PCH on a perfect beach day. So it's just really nice and chill, like Amy Winehouse meets Hozier. I write all my own stuff, all the lyrics, I play guitar, and you can listen to everything, and you can download it on Spotify and iTunes and everywhere, and I really hope you guys like it.
Awesome, and you are also an actress.
Yes.
So how does your singing background really play into your role as an actress?
Well, even when I go out on auditions, I find that the things that I book the most have something to do with music. As weird as it sounds, I booked a feature film called Summertime Dropouts, where I play the lead guitarist in a pop-punk rock band. And I play this amazing character named Lucy, who's this spunky, just like awesome punk rock guitarist. And then we just finished a short film cycle for the film called Nasty Habits. And Alison Arm is an amazing female director, and really I have her to thank for all the credentials that I've received and awards that I've received from that movie. And I also play a singer-songwriter trying to make her way to Los Angeles in that short thriller horror film. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
We are now here with Sandra Doolittle. Sandra, thank you so much for joining me here.
My pleasure.
So you are a showrunner. Can you tell me what it's like to be in that position and to be at the head of a show?
It's interesting. You have to be a heck of a fine planner and not just have plan A, B, and C, but D and E and F, and you just have to be really good at rolling with changes and unexpected things. But it is a delightful experience. I'm getting to meet new people in the industry because of this new position, and I am having a great time.
And as an actress yourself, how does that experience really play into your role as a showrunner and working with your own actors and actresses?
Well, essentially, my role will be as a producer with a fancy name attached to it. And so I'm still going to focus on having quality talent in front of the camera first and foremost, along with a very strong story. And if we can do that, we can continue to bring top-notch entertainment to people. As an actress, I have to say that I am rather selective about who we cast. and that's going to continue for sure.
Thank you so much. It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I am now here with Tasha Biltmore. She has her own podcast. Tasha, can you tell me a little bit about what your podcast is?
Okay, my podcast is in partner with my partner Tanya Renee Banks from the Little Women of LA. So we call ourselves the Odd Couple, but it's called The Ish Is Real with Tanya and Tasha. And we're talking a lot of ish and drinking a lot of alcohol in lingerie. So it's a little bit different. It's not your normal podcast. It's made for night, sexy lingerie, a lot of drinks, margaritas, and we're sponsored by Perfecto Mundo Tequila. Hey.
Awesome. Yeah. And why did you choose to do a podcast? Of all the media outlets out there, why was the podcast the one you chose?
Well, everybody was going towards podcasts, but we wanted to be different and be able to say what we want to say and touch on a lot of issues without having it, red flag by somebody else, because what we say, we apologize up front on our podcast. That's one of our go-to things. We apologize. If we offend you, we're sorry, but the It's Just Real with Tanya and Tasha.
Love it. Thank you so much for joining me. And if somebody wanted to hear this podcast, where can they find it?
Well, the podcast starts April 2nd, and you're going to be able to find it on iHeartRadio. But if you're looking before then, go to the It's Just Real with Tanya and Tasha. Find us on Facebook and on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's very nice to meet you. I want to check that out. I'm very excited.
Thank you.
Hello, and I am now here with Tobias Goodlife. Tobias, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into this industry?
Oh, well, it's a little bit to do with what I'm working on. My project right now is called Not Forgotten, and it's a documentary for veterans. So I'm a vet and was in a coma for 3 years. And I was in a campground for 5 years after that, homeless, until I heard about a program called Stand Down. Stand Down helped me get housing, helped me get service connected, helped me get business licenses and business loans and stuff so I can start my own businesses. And I never thought that I would be here where I am right now. And the problem is we're not forgotten. The program is called Not Forgotten, and it's just awareness. There's a lot of people that want to help veterans, and there's a lot of veterans that don't know how to get the help. And in every city and every state around the world, they have this program, and people just are not aware of it. So that's what it's about, getting out the outreach.
And if somebody wanted to check out your documentary, how can they find that?
Well, it's not going to even come out until the beginning of next year, because we're in production in August, and then the beginning of next year, and you can find it on probably Netflix or Hulu or something like that. I'll probably sell it to one of them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for all that you've done for all the veterans in this country.
All right, and if you guys want to find me, I'm on Facebook. Look up Tobias Sebastian, and let's link up and do great things.
Thank you very much. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you for your service. Hello, and we are back with Carey Schroeder. Carey is a Nickelodeon member. Carey, can you tell me about what you do on Nickelodeon?
Absolutely. So I played the mom on a Nickelodeon show called I Am Frankie. And she's not just a mom, she's a creator of an android, as you do.
And how is it like working on a kids show? How is that different than working on a different kind of network?
Do you know what? I love working on kids shows because nobody's allowed to yell or swear at you. Not that anybody does that, but I got to tell you, it's me I have to keep in check. I'm like, oh, shoot. No, it's so much fun. And the kids, do you know what? The best thing to learn from kids, because, as adults, when we have our process and we have to do everything, the kids, they're in the dressing room, chitty, chatty, chitty, and then they just roll up, do their thing, and then leave. And you're like, oh, we could all take a lesson from that.
So working with kids is obviously such an amazing part of your career.
Yes.
Can you tell me about a different project that you've worked on?
Yeah, absolutely. I did this amazing horror film, and the special
Twisting
effects.
turns.
Oh yeah, I know, right? And the special effects that goes into that, and all of the prosthetics for all of the scrapings, it was amazing. But it's time consuming, but night and day.
And how is it like working with special effects? How is it like as an actress not having everything in front of you?
A lot of imagination, but it's great because as long as you and the director are on the same page and what you're trying to create and what part of the story you're in, it's actually really cool because you really have to go inward and create that story for yourself, which of course I love.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. It was very nice to meet you. So we are now here with Kathy Garver. Kathy is from Family Affair and the iconic 10 Commandments movie. Kathy, thank you so much for being here with me today.
My pleasure.
Can you tell me what it's like being part of the 10 Commandments movie? That is probably one of the most famous movies of the 20th century, and we are so excited to have you from that movie being with us today.
Thank you. Well, it was really a mighty experience. This was not the silent version. The one with Charlton Heston, and being a small child and seeing the enormous personage of Moses in Charlton Heston was incredible. And I remember the Red Sea closing, and that we shot actually at Paramount, and they had like buckets of water all set up all along the catwalk, and I was supposed to go up on the paper mache mountain and when action was called. And so all the water came down, and it was just so exciting. And then Cecil B. DeMille asked the cameraman, they had three, he says, "How was that for you, camera number one?" He said, "Mr. DeMille, a camel walked right in front of the lens." And he says, "Oh no." "Camera number two, how was it for you?" He says, "Mr. DeMille, water splashed right in the lens. I lost it." And then he remembered he had the cameraman way up where the water was on the catwalk. So he says, "Camera number three, how was it for you?" And the cameraman said, "Ready when you are, CB." That's a true story. I was there.
So obviously filmmaking has changed tremendously from then. So what is the one thing that you feel has been lost in all of these new technologies?
That is such a good question, because I see all of these green screens and all the hyper technological types of things that they put in to make an effect. And you look back at the 10 Commandments, and you see these walls that are being closed, and the woman, that's going to be crushed, and you feel that, because that's real. It's a human kind of thing that transcends the film part of it and brings out the spirit, and that's what I think is lost. You're losing that spirit.
And moving on to Family Affair, that is one of the most popular sitcoms as well. Can you tell me how it felt to be part of such an important part of Hollywood's culture?
I love being a part of that history and part of the sitcom golden age in the 50s and the 60s, and our shows endure. Like My Three Sons, that was made by the same producer, Family Affair, Leave It to Beaver. Of course, it helps. There were only 3 stations then, so everybody watched them. But my news is that I'm doing a spin-off called Aunt Sissy from the show.
So exciting.
So that'll be on this year, and then I'm doing another show called TV Dinners, where I interview some of these classic stars, Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers. They come and they cook, and we talk, and we catch up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, and it was such an honor to meet you.
Thank you. Same here.
So we are now here with Kate Linder. Kate is on The Young and the Restless. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you.
So how is it like being on such an iconic soap opera?
Well, I'm very honored. I was just hired for one day, and here we are, April 8th, 38 years for me. So I'm so honored to be part of that amazing show. It's the #1 show. We're in our 47th year. We just got picked up actually for 4 more years, so that's really good, really good.
So you have been on for 38 years, but the thing with soap operas is that actors come on and off and on and off. How is it like working with people who will only be there with you for a short amount of time?
Well, I like the coming on part. I don't like looking at the coming off part, so I just don't look at that, because you never know. Because look at me, I was hired for one day, so who knew, that would happen. So.
And how has the television industry changed over your time on the soap opera?
Well, it's very fast now. It always was, but it's faster. There's, the budgets are tighter and the money is tighter, so we get one take now. You really, lots of times we would do it over and over, even though something wasn't right, but that's not the case now. So you better know what you're doing, Yeah.
Thank you so much. And if people wanted to watch The Young and the Restless, that is still on, where can they find it?
Well, we're on CBS, so that's really good. And if you go to www.katelinder.com, my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook's all right there.
that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am now here with Crystal Hong. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to come here. I'm an actress and also I'm a producer.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of your acting work?
Yeah, the last movie I was in is called Cupid Paradise, and Cupid Paradise will release next Tuesday on Dust, and also the next two weeks I'm going to shoot in the new feature film. It's called Chinese Speaking Vampire.
Awesome. And can you tell me about some of your producing work? How did you get into becoming a producer?
The Cupid Paradise is one of my movie I'm produced, and the next two movie is called Dog movie. We're going to shoot in London too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, me too.
I am now here with Eva Danesh. Eva, thank you so much for being with us.
And thank you for having me here.
So you are on a hit show, Criminal Minds. Can you tell me what it's like working on such an amazing show?
It's amazing. I mean, to be on a set with talented people, fantastic people, it's always amazing an experience, you know.
And do you think being on a detective show has given you a different outlook on life, and when you watch the news, a different perspective on the issues?
Actually, I don't watch news. I try to listen to beautiful music. I try to read books. I read a lot of different plays. I perform in a theater. So news is something I'm trying actively to avoid it.
And how does your theater background really help you when you're in front of a camera?
I actually, to be honest, I'm still studying acting. I've been for the last 10 years studying my craft at the Beverly Hills Playhouse with two of my favorite teachers in the world, Art Cohan and Alan Barton. And what it gives you, I think stage and studying your craft, it's like working out. Like you can't just stop. There's always, you want to work on different character, developing new skill, and absolutely improving yourself every single day. Just like singers, they just don't stop singing, and there's a show and you have to go perform, right? You have to keep training every day.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. We are now here with Donna McGrath. Donna is an internationally recognized research scientist. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about your previous research and what impact it has had on our world?
Well, the previous research that we did at the NIH in 1992, we found a cure for sickle cell anemia. However, that drug, we didn't know the long-term side effects, and so it just kind of fizzled out. But at that time, we did go to the White House with Ronald Reagan, and we were internationally acclaimed. Okay? And then I went through a transformational experience where I had an out-of-body experience, and I went to the light, and I asked the light, what is the cure for all diseases? And I was downloaded with the ability to heal people miraculously. That's my favorite word is miraculously, but I made it up. Anyway, miraculously. And so I've worked with 45,000 people since then. And I have a new book coming out called Miracles of Total Body Healing, True Cases of Miracle Healings from the Files of a Master Energy Healer. So I'm really an energy master.
And how has your research on sickle cell anemia, although it wasn't able to go out and be used, how has that impacted other researchers' work? Like how has your research really formed?
Well, actually, at the time, in Time and Newsweek and the Wall Street Journal, when our research came out, they said that it was the first time that molecular biology came to the bedside. Okay, so it was a foundational type of research.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're such an incredible person.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are now here with Donna Spangler. Donna is in an upcoming movie about witches. Can you tell me a little bit about your role in that?
I played a good witch. There were three sisters, like the Bell sisters, the Bell Witch sisters, and there were three of us, and we were actually good witches. We shot the independent film in the UK near the cliffs of Dover, which is kind of a famous landmark. And we had bad witches too, and there was some blood and magic, a lot of magic. And it's going to be a fun film. I think you guys will really like it. You'll be able to see it if you just Google me,
and I'll keep everybody posted as to what, when, where, and how. But it should be presented at Cannes.
Awesome. And what is it like filming in the UK?
It's really fun filming in the UK. I had a fabulous time. I had several friends go with me. So it was during October, which is Halloween, and we went to a few Halloween parties. We were in an old graveyard where we filmed, and Captain Hook was actually buried there. Yeah, so it was a small graveyard, but it was very spooky. So that was
and the time.
Cool, you know.
So, well, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Thank you.
We are now here with Jasmine St. Clair. Jasmine, thank you for joining me here.
Thank you for having me here.
So can you tell me a little bit about how you got into the work you do, how you got into this industry?
Well, let's see. I suffered from stage fright growing up. Now I have a one-woman show, so I guess I kind of conquered it. I just can't look into the audience unless someone's under 29 and cute, then I'll look at them. No, then I grew up on film noir, and I love film noir. It's my favorite genre of films, and I watched Bruce Lee growing up, and I rode motorcycles since I was 12, so it's just like I grew up around a lot of really weird things. I knew I couldn't last in an office job, really, so I just started doing stuff, and that's how I got on. I was working on The Deuce on the last season. I just worked on a film with Ice-T called 3 Days Rising, and now I have a one-woman show. But it's fun. Like, I just like this. It's a different energy, and I've met a lot of really interesting people around it.
And what is your one-woman show about?
It's called A Weird Kind of Fame. It's at Second City on February 15th, and I have 2 more dates after that. It's my life's journey for the past 23 years, existing in all these weird subcultures, like pro wrestling. Then I worked with a music VJ, and just everything along the way. Yeah, it's been cool. It's always like a whole thing. Like, I'm an Ivy League graduate. How did I end up where I am? So it's an odd story. There's nothing else like it. I can promise you that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We look forward to watching it.
Thank you.
We are now here with Sophia Stewart. Sophia is the owner of The Matrix. Can you tell me about your experience with that and Terminator?
Yes. Warner Brothers offered me $30 million for the shooting script to the 4th installment. If they don't have the real Matrix, it's a generic like the Terminator that you guys saw, Dark Fate. So everybody needs to get The Matrix 4. It's on Amazon.com since 2010. I won the second lawsuit, $3.5 billion in liens, and almost $500,000 in attorney fees. That's right.
And what can we expect from the next installment of The Matrix?
I am going with virtual penal systems and virtual skateboards and virtual motorcycles and so forth. So, and holograms, hologram clones and holograms, yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Welcome.
We are now here with Rico E. Anderson from Star Trek.
Hey!
Rico, thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
So how is it like being part of such an enormous industry, such as Star Trek?
It was pretty amazing. You know, part of the character that I had to wear, he had this prosthetic makeup on. So you don't even see my face. So a lot of the acting had to come out of the eyes, any body movements that I did or something like that. But it was so much fun. I love wearing prosthetic makeup and performing like that. It's almost like putting on a suit or a dress. You know, it puts you in a certain way of moving and acting and being. So it's great. It's fun. It's so much fun.
And what impact has that had on your career for working for Star Trek?
Oh, wow. It's gotten me a lot more roles in sci-fi as well as horror. And it just shows a great versatility of being able to really tap into a lot of what we learned in theater. Because in theater we have a lot of movement exercises and we're taught to act with our eyes and act with our body. And of course, like with TV, less is more, so you don't want to do too much. So when you have that type of training, that's when it really comes in. So you learn a lot, and it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. I attend a lot of sci-fi conventions, I'm guest at that, and I'm here at the Hollywood Museum representing. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are back with Judy Tenuta. Thank you so much for being here with us, Judy.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love the Oscars and I love coming to the Hollywood Museum. Yeah.
Can you tell me how you got into the world of comedy?
Well, I grew up in a family of 9 children, so just to hear myself be heard, I had to start being funny. So, yeah.
And where has comedy taken you in your life? What kind of path has it led for you?
Oh, it was great because the wonderful thing about it is my first goal is to make people happy. So whenever I get all these notifications on my Instagram, on my on all social media. Oh, you've made my day. I just want to make people happy. So that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
And what is award season like for you every year?
Well, first of all, I absolutely, that's what this city is about, the Oscars. Let's face it, it's the gold standard. It's what we live for. Today's the biggest day in Hollywood, and I of course I want to celebrate it. And I know all the winners. Okay. So the 2 supporting actors that are going to win, Joaquin Phoenix and Laura Dern, of course. And then the 2 and then supporting actor Brad Pitt, and Best Actress will of course be Judy Renee Zellweger.
Let's see if you're correct. I think you have some good chances.
I think they're going to win.
We're very excited to see. Thank you so much. It's very nice meeting you.
It could happen.
We are here with tonight's Icon Award winner. Thank you so much for being with me here tonight.
It's a joy, and anytime anybody takes the time to recognize you as they have done this evening, then you have to identify that I'm humbled. You must be humbled by that experience.
It's beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about your work on The Bold and the Beautiful?
Oh, well, listen, I'm thrilled to be on Bold and the Beautiful. We have a wonderful cast. It is truly a family. And the stories that we're telling are stories that I think affect change in others' lives. And that's what's a joy to be able to do. And so we hold on to one another, we show up at work, and we do the very best we can with the material that's given us by our brilliant writers.
And how's it like working on such a long-running series?
You know what? To be on the show for as many years as it's been on, it identifies that people really appreciate it. And I was honored, because I came on initially. They just asked me to do a 15-episode arc. And I've been on the show now for an excess of 2 years, along with all the other work that I've been doing. I'm on the series SWAT, and I play Shamar Moore's dad on that. I've also just completed the television series that's going to be released with playing Kerry Washington's dad on Little Fires Everywhere. And I'm also on the show Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton and J.K. Simmons and Dennis Quaid. Our 4th season is coming up of Dear White People, so I'm thrilled and honored to be continuing to serve. We are in the business of servitude. That's what we do.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your award tonight.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Hello, and we are back with Kiki Shepard. Thank you for being with us here today, Kiki.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
So you are presenting the Icon Award tonight.
To Mr. Oba Babatunde, a true icon in our industry. Television, film, stage, it's just so wonderful. I'm very proud to be here to present the award to him.
And how is this award season feeling for you?
It's feeling pretty good. It's got me on pins and needles because I'm just not sure what's going to win. I know I have my favorites, but then other things are also so good. I'm on pins and needles. I'm like, what is going to win Best Picture?
Well, we all want to know the mystery question. We will find out soon tonight.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you. I am back here with Celeste Thorson. Celeste, thank you so much for being with me here tonight.
Absolutely. It's such an honor to be here. Roger throws an amazing bash, and it's always such a joy to be surrounded in greatness.
Can you tell me a little bit about what got you started in TV?
Well, I actually started as a writer, and then I moved on camera as a host for travel television, and then I started working in kind of sitcoms and independent films, and now I'm currently on The Haves and the Have-Nots as a recurring guest star, which is a Tyler Perry show on the OWN network.
And how does your experience as a writer really play into your performance as an actress?
I I think it's really wonderful to have empathy for people from all backgrounds, from all characters. As an actor, I'm kind of narrowly cast in a very specific kind of background and the roles that I can play. But as a writer, you can really kind of step into the shoes of different people from different backgrounds.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We are here with Kat Kramer. Kat, thank you for being with me here.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Can you tell me what your inspiration was to go into acting?
Well, I come from a show business family. My father was the filmmaker Stanley Kramer, multiple Oscar nominee and winner. My godmother was 4-time Best Actress winner Katharine Hepburn. And my mom is a Golden Globe winning actress and producer Karen Sharp. But according to my mom, I came out already wanting to be in show business, singing, dancing, acting. So I'm not really sure if I didn't even know that they were in the business till I already wanted to be in it at the age of 3. So I'm not sure, but I would say probably, my mom and all my idols. I have quite a few male and female acting and performing idols that have inspired me.
And can you tell me?
Some are nominated tonight.
Oh, that's so exciting. And can you tell me a little bit about your current projects?
Well, I'm in a film called Turnover, which is going to be on Amazon Prime in March, and we've done the festival circuit. We won multiple awards. I won Best Supporting Actress at the Love International Film Festival. And we had a limited release last year, but now it'll be more available when it's on Amazon.
Great.
And I'm also in a short film that's been on the festival circuit called Mother's Day Memories about Alzheimer's disease, and it's going to be screening this Friday at the Regal LA Live at the Real Independent Film Festival. And I'm very involved with the award season. We have 3 different Stanley Kramer Awards. The first one this year, we honored Bombshell at the Producers Guild. Then right after that, we honored Harriet, the Women of Harriet, at the African American Film Critics Association. I personally chose that one, and they're both women empowerment films. I had my own screening of Harriet too, which was empowering, and presented that and moderated the panel. And I'm very much behind The Irishman, even though it's male-dominated. It's females behind the scenes in main creative roles, and I'm lucky to have known pretty much all of them or worked with them, and to know De Niro, Scorsese, Pacino, and worked with De Niro twice. So
well, thank you so. We're looking forward to seeing if they win. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you. I am so excited to be with the Pointer Sisters, a legendary R&B group.
Yes, we are.
We are on the 3rd floor of the Hollywood Museum, and right behind us, this entire room is filled with your mementos and all of your stuff, all of your platinum records, your gold records, all of your awards. This is an incredible room to be in.
It's incredible. Donnell Danigan gave us the whole 2nd floor of the Hollywood Museum, and we filled it up. Oh, yeah. We had all these things from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, and we just kept hold of everything: shoes, clothes, jewelry, and
these are gonna go on display right after we finish these interviews.
After the
We're taking these off.
I love it. I love it. And how does it feel to have this Oscar party be in this very room with your stuff here?
This is such a plus. I'm so
Fun.
proud.
What a party.
It's a great room. It's a great exhibit. And the Pointer Sisters, me and Bonnie, we finished a new book. We have a book that's coming out February 11th called Fairy Tale. And Fairy Tale is the name of a song that me and Bonnie wrote back in the day. And it got the Pointer Sisters their very first Grammy Award. And we were the first black group to ever get a Grammy for a country song.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is so incredible.
So go get Fairy Tale. It's a fabulous story. And we also wrote a new song.
And it's good for Black History Month right now.
Yes, that's right. Go get it.
Of course. And for my last question, from all of your songs, which has got to be your favorite?
The one
I'm
we
so
just
excited, and I just can't hide it.
I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. I am now here with Ella and Dan. Thank you guys both so much for being with me here tonight.
Of course.
We're excited to be here.
So Ella, you work with Tyler Perry on his Tyler Perry Studios. Can you tell me about the recent opening of his new studios in Atlanta?
Oh, well, I think it was very exciting. Of course, I wasn't invited, but I read all about it in the papers, and I saw it on television. I went to the first studio where I shot, when I shot Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor, and I was impressed with the studio then. So I would imagine the one that just opened is probably quite incredible and splendid.
And Dan, you work on The Bold and the Beautiful, an amazing soap opera that is still going on. Can you tell me what it's like to work on a soap opera that goes on for years and the cast comes in and out?
Well, that is interesting. I saw certain characters come in and out, where one day I'd be talking to a person, and then the next day somebody else has that name. So it's, oh, you're Ridge now, okay. Hi, Ridge. You know. But then you just embrace the person that comes in. You give them the respect that another actor deserves, and just work and flow along with them. Of course, you miss your friends if that happens, but it's always good to meet new people and to see what else is on there, you know.
Okay, thank you both so much.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am now here with legendary Persian music singer Andy. Andy, thank you so much for joining me here.
My pleasure. It's great to find one of my youngest fans.
So Andy, a couple weeks ago, you got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. What was that like for you?
Unbelievable. It's beautiful. And like Shani said, this is my wife, Shani.
Hi.
She's also a singer-songwriter. And today is a beautiful day. We're at the Hollywood Museum. I'm receiving an Icon Award, which is unbelievable because I grew up with Hollywood movies. Even being born in Iran, we grew up with Hollywood movies, and I'm just so happy to be here. It's a great day. 2020 is a great year.
And as an Iranian singer, how does it feel to be recognized as such a hallmark of America?
Well, I feel American also because I'm an Iranian, Armenian American. I've lived in Los Angeles for 41 years, and I'm all of them. And it's just a great feeling. Some people don't have even one country. I have three.
It's beautiful. And Shani, as a singer-songwriter yourself, how is it like being part of this power couple of music?
I mean, it's great. We get to do a lot of fun collaborations that hit people all over the world, and being based in America, but we have, you know, great fans all over the place, and so we get to experiment and see what they like. And we're here celebrating movies. We've gotten to do a lot of things for movies, and there's a lot more license for creativity with movies, so we get to really experiment and combine a lot of our different backgrounds. So it's exciting, it's fun.
But you're right, as a team, not only we write, we produce, we sing together, but we also have a charity for dogs. We save dogs, and it's called voicesout.org. We are very small, but we have been very successful, and it's just great to live in California where all these great laws of animal welfare is happening, and we're proud to be a small part of it.
That's beautiful. Thank you guys so much for all you do for animals, and thank you and congratulations on your award. I am now here with Barbara Luna. Barbara, thank you so much for being with me here today.
You're so welcome, and you know what? I like to be called Luna.
Luna?
I do.
That.
I do. It's my last name, but I like it.
So cute. So Barbara, Luna, you are a legendary Star Trek actress. Can you tell me what it's like to be part of such a franchise?
Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you, because I know you're dying to know, is William Shatner is a good kisser. That's always important.
That's the key information we just found right there.
That's it. No, you know, it's crazy. I have worked with the most legendary stars in show business, honestly. The younger younger group may not know Frank Sinatra or Spencer Tracy or Jimmy Stewart or Henry Fonda or Vivian Lee. Well, sometimes I talk to kids who don't know who the Beatles are, you know. But when it comes to Star Trek, that's it.
That is it.
That's the most important thing. It's wonderful to be part of that history. I mean, nobody knew when we were filming that it was going to be this phenomenon. But if you really pay attention to the stories in classic Trek, then you understand why it's so wonderful.
Beautiful. Very important piece of information we should all listen to. Thank you so much, Luna. It was so nice to meet you. We are now here with Jamie Monroy. Jamie, thank you for being with us here tonight.
Hi. It's so good to see you. I feel like we've done this before.
What are you excited about for this Oscars night?
Well, you know what I'm excited about is when an organization like KBEV comes out, because there's a team of people here, and you can't see behind the scenes, but people are professional, they're dressed sharp, and somebody's working camera, somebody is taking notes, and we're even uploading and streaming, and that's what the world of entertainment has become.
KBEV is truly amazing with preparing us, Mr. Carey and Robbie. They've been such big helps to us all.
Very much, legendary. Off camera, I was sharing. I go back with Mr. Carey when we worked together at Paramount Studios. I had a very ambitious idea, a very small budget, but Romeo believed in me and believed in the concept of taking charge of your own destiny creatively, and to get it down on the page, get it up on the stage, and present it to the industry and see what happens. If you don't do anything, I guarantee you nothing will happen. And that's why Mr. Carey and I remain very good friends. Of course, he's a legendary entertainment personality in his own right and legacy through his father's incredible work. And Robbie Curtis, hey, can you find a funnier guy? You know, I'm the comedian, but I got to keep up with Robbie. Robbie is just a wonderful writer and a good producer. And we've had a couple of shows that we have considered to be pitched around town. But tonight it is Academy Awards night, and it's great to be here with you looking beautiful and to see so many different kinds of stars. There have been legends here tonight. There have been Oscar winners. I even got to hold a real Oscar myself. And there were TV stars from legendary TV shows, and then new people that are coming up in the game. And that's what's great about this Oscar viewing event, which is just right around the block from the Oscars that are happening live. We're here happening live. And KBEV brings it to you because this is the caliber of work and determination to be part of the entertainment industry. And this is why I back Mr. Carey and the broadcast and TV department that you guys head up.
Thank you so much. And a true thank you to everybody who's behind the scenes tonight.
Yes, and can I share my $250,000 watch? $250,000. I know that's nothing at Beverly Hills High School, but for me, being from Lincoln Heights, East Los Angeles, this is a big deal. Obviously, I'm making payments. I'll be making payments until I'm about 480 years old.
It looks worth it, though.
Yes. Time to go, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Hello, and we are back on Oscar Sunday with Eddie Barber, an Oscar winner. Eddie, can you tell me what this Oscar is for and what the process was like to win it?
Okay, it's a very, very strange story behind this thing. Do you know what 24p is? It's what allows video to look like film.
Yeah.
I started thinking about why does film look so good and video look so bad back in 1970, because I did a tour. I toured a local TV station, and they had a film chain, which is basically a video camera shooting a piece of dirty, scratchy film. And I asked them, I said, what's different between this camera in the film chain and the camera in the studio that's shooting people? And they said, well, they're basically the same, it's a different configuration. So I started thinking, how can a video camera shooting a piece of dirty, scratchy film look so good, but a camera shooting a real person looks like Gaga, like a local news or a soap opera or something? So I started thinking about it. And in the early 80s, I came to LA with you know what a camera boom crane jib thing is? I invented that, and that brought me to LA.
That's incredible.
Thank you. I actually got one of my Emmys for Outstanding Achievement in Engineering Development for that. So anyway, that got me the audience of a lot of big-time DPs and cameramen, and I would ask them, why does video look so good? I'm sorry, why does film look so good and video look so bad? And they would say, it's lighting, it's lenses, it's contrast ratio, it's resolution, it's all these things. And I did a lot of tests and found out it was none of those things. And then I finally, in 1985, figured out what it was. And it was the difference between pictures per second. Because video, at the time, even though it was 30 frames a second, each frame had two fields, an A field and a B field, so it was 60 pictures versus 24. So once I figured that out, then I just had to figure out how to do it, and I figured out a lot of ways to do it. Anyway, I spent another 15 years trying to convince the industry that it was a good idea to put that in cameras. And they kind of all took it from me. But anyway, I was asked to make an Oscar submission for 24p for a technical Oscar, which I did. And they sent me back a letter to the effect of, thanks but no thanks. And yet they gave at least 3, if not 4 camera manufacturers that utilized 24p to make their cameras look like film, gave them Oscars. So I was a little bummed. But then guess what happened? This showed up in the mail or courier with a Post-it note on it that said, you deserve this. So even though it doesn't have my name on it, and I don't really know where it came from, it sits in the cabinet with all my Emmys with my name on them.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that story, and we're very glad you're at least recognized. We are now here with Mr. Papadopoulos. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight.
Thanks a lot. It's great to be here.
Mr. Papadopoulos is a former Trump advisor and has just released a new book in March. Can you tell me a little bit about that book?
Sure. The book is called Deep State Target, and it basically is a chronology of the events from 2015 through 2017 that resulted in the Comey investigation, the Robert Mueller hoax, the impeachment investigations that recently just ended, and the impact of those events moving forward on the 2020 election.
And regarding our Congresswoman, Katie Hill, she is just a couple districts away from us. She recently stepped down from her position. Do you have any plans on maybe running for that position in the future?
So I currently am running for the 25th Congressional District. We have our primary coming up in March. It's an incredibly tough uphill battle because, as we know, California and California politics are worse than Chicago politics if you're a Republican, and that's where I'm originally from. There's a tremendous amount of grassroots support for my candidacy. We're changing things up. My competitors are terrified of my run. I have my wife Simona with me on the trail, and in just a couple of weeks we will know who gets through this primary. So I'm very excited and waiting for those results.
And what do you think you can bring to the district to change what has happened in the past couple of years? When we recently got a Democrat, now you're a Republican, what could be new?
So I've had the privilege to live in California with my wife for the last year and a half, and you don't need more than 2 eyes to look around and see that there are a lot of problems in this great state. The state also has the most potential out of any other state in our great union. And given that, somebody like myself, who's beholden to no one, who knows how to handle the mainstream media, and my entire campaign is funded by individual donors and no lobbyists, special interests, PACs, or corporations. I'm beholden only to the people. I listen to the people in the district, I hear what problems they have to tell me, and that's how I'm going to run and how I will represent them. And that's what my power is. When you're not beholden to somebody, you have a lot of independence and you care about your voters, and that's what I'm all about.
And for my last question, what has your experience in the White House and with our current administration, what can that experience bring to your candidacy or your position as a congressman?
So I've always said to the voters, every time I go to the district, I can get to Washington, D.C. on day one, know the players in Congress, have my friends in the administration, reach out to my hand and say, let's work together, let's get things done for the great state of California, because I bled for you and I will work with you. And I think that's a thing that no other candidate has, that I have, and I think the voters see that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.